day, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning into our webinar themed St Kitts and Nevis CBI, not just another CBI program. My name is Robin Herbert, and I am the Principal Attorney at Law Office of Herbert Thompson, located in Basseterre, St Kitts. Also with me is the distinguished Dr. Charon Ballantyne of Pinnacle International Inc., one of the architects of the revamped St Kitts and Nevis program and the first head of the Citizenship unit. Dr. Ballantyne in 2008 put St Kitts and Nevis on the world map as one of the sought-after investment programs. Owing to the success of the program under Dr. Ballantyne's leadership, several other Caribbean countries and other jurisdictions implemented citizenship by investment programs. I will tell you a little bit about myself, my firm, and the available investment options. Dr. Ballantyne will share with us, based on his deep knowledge of the program, why we have remained successful and cannot be considered just another CBI program. Then we will open the floor for your questions and your comments. My firm, Law Office of Herbert Thompson, has been in operation since 2002. We are a full-service firm providing a full range of legal services, including citizenship by investment, real estate, and financial services, which includes the incorporation of company, registration of foundations, and limited partnerships. My main focus and passion within the firm is citizenship by investment, financial services, and real estate. Since 2003, I have been involved in citizenship by investment, and I have successfully assisted in excess of 350 persons to become citizens of St Kitts and Nevis by investment. I have received numerous referrals from applicants whom I have helped to become citizens of St Kitts and Nevis, who were very pleased with our high level of efficiency and communication. I have experience in working both with overseas agents and also individuals who come directly to our firm. Today, I continue to work with our agents, with whom we have developed relationships almost 2 decades ago. That is a testimony to their confidence in our firm's services. We cannot choose where we were born, but we can choose a second citizenship. Applicants have varying motivations for choosing a second citizenship, including increased global mobility and flexibility, pathway for future generations so they can have easier access to colleges and universities in Canada and the United States in particular, investment, wealth management, and insurance policy, a place to live in privacy, an alternative lifestyle, among other reasons. What other better place than St. Kitts and Nevis, one of the gems of the Caribbean? With the world experiencing global challenges from the COVID-19 pandemic, a second citizenship becomes even more valuable for purposes of safety and security and the ability to travel freely worldwide. When choosing a second citizenship, St. Kitts and Nevis should be the prime citizenship of choice. We are a beautiful, touristic Caribbean twin island federation in the Eastern Caribbean. Our citizenship program, having been established in 1984, is one of the oldest, well-recognized, and trusted programs in the world. There are exciting benefits to our citizenship program, including visa-free travel to more than 156 countries, including EU Schengen countries and the UK. More countries are continually being added to our visa-free list. The process for countries for which visas are required are usually hassle-free. No residency or visit to St. Kitts and Nevis is required to become a citizen by investment. There is tax-free, no income or wealth tax. You have citizenship for life, which means that it can be passed on to your future generation. Dual citizenship benefits and your privacy is ensured. Citizenship by investment in St Kitts and Nevis can be obtained through two main options: donation into a government sustainable growth fund and by purchase of real estate. For applicants interested in the donation option, this is the ideal time to apply. From July the 3rd, 2020 to December the 31st, 2020, the donation option has a time-limited offer of US $150,000 for a family of up to 4 persons. Additional applicants pay only US $10,000 each. You know what? After December the 31st, 2020, the donation will revert to its original US $195,000 for a family of up to 4 persons and US $10,000 for each additional dependent. So if you want to become a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis, this is the ideal time for you to apply, the right time. Under the real estate option, applicants may qualify for investment via a real estate development approved by the government, which can include condominiums, villas, and shares in hotels. The minimum investment in property is US $200,000, which can be sold after 7 years, and US $400,000, which can be sold after 5 years for each owner. Although these are minimum prices set for citizenship, the Federation boasts to having a variety of residences catering to the different economic groups so that you can be assured that we can meet your specific need if the real estate option is your interest. At my firm, we are here to provide you with all the required information so that you can choose which option best suits your needs. There are other costs associated with the citizenship program, which are dependent on family size and ages of applicants. The specific costs to your family will be addressed on a case-by-case basis. Generally, the main applicant is required to pay due diligence fees of US $7,500, and all other applicants over the age of 60 will pay $4,000 each. There are additional fees for real estate, including conveyancing and government fees on approval. After an application is submitted, the process takes approximately 3 to 4 months. There is an accelerated process which guarantees citizenship within 2 months once you meet the eligibility criterion. There is so much more to be said about our program. I can actually go on forever. We will be honored at our firm to work with you and help you obtain your second citizenship in St. Kitts and Nevis. I know that Dr. Ballantyne is passionate about our citizenship program, so I will pass the baton to him as he speaks to why St. Kitts and Nevis is not just another CBI program.
Good day to all. I'm Dr. Ken Ballantyne, President of Pinnacle International, Inc., on the beautiful Caribbean island of St. Kitts in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. I want to share with you my knowledge of St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Program. Gained over 2 decades as Solicitor General, legal advisor, and head of the Citizenship by Investment Program from 2006 to 2011. I will set out the pioneering, bold decisions taken by the government of this beautiful country that not only laid the foundations 36 years ago for the first CBI program, but continues to lead the way in what has become today's sought-after industry. At the end of this talk, I hope to leave you with a deeper understanding of what makes us the program of choice and our passport a unique and highly valued possession. The proliferation of countries offering CBI programs in the last 15 years rightfully raised serious questions of ethics, security, good governance, corruption, and a myriad of serious problems, causing many pundits to cast a suspicious eye at the industry and the need for it to be regulated. Skepticism has not been helped by the number of marketing firms and agents inundating the media with glitzy material lacking in any specificity from which applicants can make informed choices. A plethora of countries' rankings based exclusively on lowest price level, shortest processing time, and visa-free travel countries are published as if all applicants are a homogeneous group. Small developing states like ours are often accused of selling passports, aiding money laundering, havens for tax evasion, poor governance, lax regulations, and corruption. Notwithstanding, evidence to the contrary, showing in most cases than not, our laws, standards, and procedures far exceed those of most developed countries engaged in a similar activity. Against this background, the story of St Kitts and Nevis' CIB, Citizenship by Investment Program, must be told, because it is not just another CBI program. The history of St Kitts CBI program that is well known speaks of it being the oldest program of its kind worldwide. Less known, however, or should I say, never mentioned, is the DNA, if you like, that sets the program apart and continues to maintain its leadership role in the industry. Firstly, though, let me state emphatically what the St Kitts and Nevis Citizenship Program is not. The program is not an avenue to buy a passport solely by paying the investment amount. It is not an avenue to provide opportunities for crime of money laundering. It is not an avenue to aid tax evasion of any kind. It is not an avenue to aid criminals in avoiding the law. It is not an avenue to provide a backdoor entry to any country. Neither is it an avenue to provide safe haven for criminals to conceal proceeds of crime. It is not an avenue to provide a safe haven for terrorists, drug dealers, human traffickers, and the like. So, what is the DNA of the program, you may ask? It is one, to provide for the needs, development, advancement, and security of citizens and residents of St Kitts and Nevis. It is to provide a quality product offering significant benefits to those found fully qualified after making a substantial investment. It is to protect the country's reputation at home and abroad and to safeguard its unique Caribbean culture and way of life, and to safeguard the extensive benefits citizens have always enjoyed regarding fundamental rights and freedoms. Now, the early analysis of a CBI program demonstrated that almost 99% of applicants had little or no intention of residing in the Federation anytime in the near future. Surprising as this was for an idyllic Caribbean island, it was a significant finding. Contrary to both local and regional belief, this small exotic island was not going to be overrun by multimillionaires displacing locals from their piece of the rock by offering exorbitant prices and relegating them to second-class citizens in their own country. What became evident was that our applicants' main objective was to obtain a reliable travel document, a second passport, if you will, that would allow significant improvement on their current passport, giving them a better quality of life by facilitating easier travel for regular business, university education for their children, and family and personal vacation. It was also evident that countries of highest interest were the UK, the USA, Canada, and Europe, not necessarily in that order. With such valuable information, St Kitts and Nevis government sought to develop a niche product that would emphasize quality and impact over quantity and grant citizenship to successful applicants after rigorous due diligence, allowing them to travel as bona fide citizens of St Kitts and Nevis, receiving the same courtesies historically extended to citizens. We were, in effect, taking the responsibility to protect our more affluent and powerful friends in the community of nations. Thus, the government, working with friendly governments of the UK, the USA, Canada, and the EU, with assistance of international firm Henley and Partners, established the most comprehensive due diligence protocol. Today, St. Kitts and Nevis continues to enhance its due diligence protocol to the point where it is undoubtedly the most thorough, rigorous, and respected due diligence of all existing programs. What are some of the due diligence first of this country? St. Kitts and Nevis was the first country to conduct separate due diligence on the spouse in addition to the main applicant of an application for citizenship. We were the first to conduct due diligence on all dependents over the age of 18 years. St. Kitts and Nevis was the first to lower the minimum age of due diligence to 16 years, following observation that terrorists were using young people to carry out criminal acts. All of the above, I may say, have now become accepted standards for most CBI programs, including developed countries. St. Kitts and Nevis was the first to have dependents added after the main applicant gained citizenship to be subject to comprehensive due diligence, and to have the main applicant undergo additional due diligence once application was filed after 1 year of receiving citizenship. St. Kitts was the first to engage separate agencies in specific geographic areas to conduct due diligence on applicants from that region. In another first, to prevent the program being used for illegal money laundering, St. Kitts and Nevis over a decade ago discontinued its popular option of investment in government bonds. It is interesting, therefore, that some newer programs are introducing this as a revolutionary option for their program, despite knowledge for serious problems of money laundering. To further remove any notion of assisting criminals with proceeds of crime, St. Kitts and Nevis was the first country to introduce a purely donation option to address areas critical to the citizens and the economy. The introduction of the Sugar Industry Diversification Fund to retool workers displaced by the closure of the Moribund sugar industry, and to further develop the tourism sector to provide additional employment for a larger section of the population, stands as a shining example. The Hurricane Relief Fund, introduced to address serious damages suffered by individuals and the country's infrastructure following passage of several destructive hurricanes, an almost annual occurrence in our part of the world, show the work of a visionary government. The Sustainable Development Fund, introduced to provide for continued growth and development and for any unforeseen calamity, has proven extremely timely in light of the current COVID-19 pandemic. St. Kitts and Nevis was able to use substantial amounts from these funds to provide one of the most generous stimulus packages in the Caribbean and keep the virus, which continues to challenge all countries, under control by eliminating community spread with excellent results, a success that has not gone unnoticed worldwide. The latest short-term adjustment in investment donation amount to $150,000 US for a family of 4, which runs until December 31st, 2020, is yet again the government's visionary foresight to combat the unforeseen COVID-19 economic disruption globally. It has provided relief not only for current citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, but also for persons desirous of becoming citizens of our beautiful federation. The continued high quality of the St. Kitts CBI program was not copied overnight from a blueprint of some existing model. It was forged, developed, tested, and improved through years of critical analysis with the singular aim of maintaining sustainability of a unique program as well as economy. We blaze the trail, and we are happy to have others follow. Another first by St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Program is now the new fancied real estate option. Cognizant that few applicants intended to make St. Kitts and Nevis their permanent home, the government introduced the hotel share option to create 4- and 5-star properties to upgrade the tourism product as an incentive for our new citizens to make occasional visits to their newly acquired homeland. Today, the Federation can boast of luxury properties as Four Seasons Hotel, Mount Nevis Hotel, the St. Kitts Marriott, the Royal St. Kitts Hotel, Christopher Harbor Resort, the Park Hyatt, Koi Resort, and a host of smaller hotels, villas, and condominium properties, all government-approved projects under the CBI program. Finally, throughout the history of citizenship by investment programs, the St. Kitts and Nevis program has been the pioneer and torchbearer leading the industry. Its platinum brand has been truly earned and provides an enviable array of benefits for its citizens, as rated among the top GDP, standard of living, and per capita income in the Caribbean shores. In like manner, the program has successfully met and surpassed the needs of those seeking the very best second citizenship to meet their needs for a safe, reputable, and respected passport from one of the special places on earth. The St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Program continues to be a source of comfort to every country that admits the holder of the Federation's passport, confident that the due diligence process of our program is extremely rigid, thorough, but not onerous, and second to none. It is not just another CBI program. It continues to be the standard to which all other CBI programs aspire: sustainability and quality in the face of mounting competition. Thank you very much for listening, and we are now await your questions. Let me go to a question that I saw pop up there, referring to, I think it was fraud in St. Kitts and Nevis. There are a lot of concerns from my clients as we hear and read about fraud or delays. What reassurance does the government provide St. Kitts and Nevis? Okay, and that's a very good question. You know, I headed the citizenship program for 6-7 years, and that was always a question. There are some of these things that you cannot avoid. You are going to get the odd applicant passing through the system that the due diligence did not pick up. Or there are going to be those persons who, after they receive citizenship, engage themselves in criminal activities. Well, what we can assure you is that we have the most thorough due diligence system that has been set up. Now, I know when I was there, and I'm pretty sure that it goes on up to now, that there are countries in the developed world who would send rogue applications through the system only to test the system. And it was heartening for us to know that when we rejected applicants, we would hear from these countries telling us and congratulating us that our system was working, you know. And sometimes people, for example, say, make an application and say, well, I have a visa to go to the United States, or I have a visa to go to Schengen, or a visa to go to the UK, so I can't be a bad person. But the due diligence says otherwise. And we rejected them, only to find out that, yes, this was an application that was put through the system, only to test the system. So we are aware of that, so we don't take many chances. And the government, I can assure you, is very, very thorough when it comes to who they are admitting, because the value of the program to the country is taken very, very seriously. I don't know if Robin wants to add anything to that.
No, I have nothing further to add, Dr. Ballantyne. You explained that quite clearly.
Now, the other thing that I have seen and heard, read about is, you know, the aspect of fraud and corruption within the various programs. That's a domestic thing. What I can say, and which is very, very heartening to us, is the lack of political interference with the St. Kitts program. And I can say that from my personal perspective. There is hardly any interference from the government authorities with the professional people who are running the program. They make the decisions based on the law and what are the regulations and the requirements that are put there. And that is one of the very good things of the program in St. Kitts and Nevis. In many other programs, you are going to find top government officials and people who are aligned politically in the program. At no time, St. Kitts has never had anyone who is in charge of the program who has been politically aligned to any political party. And that is one of the unique features of the St. Kitts program. And I think one of the very good things that allows it to keep such a high standard as far as corruption within the program and so goes.
Okay, we have another question on the screen from one of the attendees. Do you get free education as part of this citizenship program for St. Kitts and Nevis? Okay, once you become a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis, then your children are entitled to free education in St. Kitts and Nevis, where free education is provided. For example, we have government education in St. Kitts and Nevis, where we have the government schools, that's primary schools and secondary schools, where children are not required to pay for their education. We also have the private schools where children are required to pay for education because they are not run by the government, they are run by private institutions. So therefore, there is a choice of the government schools or the private schools. The government has a very, very high standard, the government schools, a high standard of education in St. Kitts and Nevis. We actually have an extremely high literacy rate, one of the highest in the Caribbean, actually. So therefore, there is free education, and it's a very, very high quality of free education. We also have the Clarence Fitzroy by Bryan College that provides associate degrees to students. It's actually, the amount is not very high. It's subsidized by the government, but there is a small amount that has to be paid by all citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. There are other universities and colleges in St. Kitts and Nevis, but they are private colleges. For example, we have the Ross University School of Veterinary Medicine, which is privately owned. And we also have an international nursing school in St. Kitts and Nevis, which is also privately owned. Dr. B, do you have anything to add further?
Yes, you said that you have one of the highest literacy rates in the Caribbean. I would say one of the highest literacy rates in the world. The Caribbean is rated probably, I think, second after the Asians as far as the quality of the education system is concerned. There are many of us who have been educated in European and North American schools who can attest to that. Let me go to a couple of questions that I see here. Explain the platinum brand. That's an interesting question because the only reason I'm going to try to attempt to answer that question is because, I had a hotel and it was once rated as the top hotel for standard. It won the Platinum Award. And the company that we beat out for that Platinum Award was Cathay Pacific Airlines. So that tells you the standard it had. You don't vote on it. These are other people who are voting on it. So this Platinum Award isn't given by St. Kitts and Nevis. It's given by other countries who evaluate our programs and give it that standard. We're accustomed to gold, silver, and bronze. Platinum is the highest. It's the creme de la creme of CBI programs. And we here in St. Kitts would love to believe, and we know that it is the top program around. So it is voted by people like you who have tuned in here, agents, by countries who have seen the quality of our passport. And that is something that we aspire to. That is something that we try to keep, because they say, it's difficult getting to the top, but it's even more difficult staying at the top. And so we want to maintain our platinum standard, and the government is doing everything in its power to maintain its platinum standard. That is readily seen by the quality of the due diligence that we have in place. That our due diligence is so rigid that even after the Citizenship by Investment Unit has approved your citizenship, if the bank does a due diligence on you on the source of funds and find that there is something awry, they would refuse to accept those funds and you could not be granted citizenship. And that is about the fifth layer of due diligence, starting from know your client, from the agent, right up to the CBI. It is a tough system. And it goes back, it leads me back to something, and I think a question is there about processing time. And many agents put out, this country can give you citizenship in 2 months, in 1 month. And so it's the best program. That's not necessarily so, because the due diligence time is really the process that eats into the time of you getting a reply. There are some countries which due diligence can be done very quickly. If there's an applicant from the United States of America, that due diligence can be done in a week. But if there's an applicant from Iraq, it's going to take a very long time for that due diligence to be done. And if it's an applicant from China, it's going to take a long time. So people have to realize that the length of time that is taken for an application to go through the system is different depending on where the application is from. Where the applicant is from makes a lot of things. And so what you get, and when we say we can do an application in 3 months, that is the average. Some are going to take less, and some are going to take more. Robin, you want to add to that?
Just to add, in terms of those places that take a little longer for the due diligence to be done, it's like Iraq and sometimes China. It's on average probably about 4 to 5 weeks, which is not that onerous.
Now, can Iraqi nationals apply?
Yes. Oh. Yes. Yes. The only nationals who are not allowed to apply under the St Kitts and Nevis program are nationals from Iran, Afghanistan, and North Korea. All other nationals are welcome to apply. I also see a question, how long I can live in the UK with the St Kitts and Nevis citizenship. Okay, with the St Kitts and Nevis citizenship, then you're not allowed to, well, we cannot make any laws for any other country about living in other countries. What it is, we have a visa-free arrangements with other countries. We have a visa-free arrangement with the United Kingdom, so you can visit the United Kingdom up to 6 months. In terms, so you can stay there up to 6 months without getting a visa. So it's visa-free up to 6 months. In terms of living within the specific country, then it's based on the domestic laws of the particular country. So we can't interfere in the domestic laws of the country, but you're certainly allowed to visit without a visa up to 6 months. And then you can always come out within the 6 months and, of course, travel back in the country again legally. Dr. B, you have anything further to add?
No, I think you've covered that adequately. Let me see.
There was also a question about visa-free to Canada and the US. We would have answered that previously at the beginning, but to be more direct, no, we do not have visa-free arrangement with the United States and Canada, but it is relatively easy to obtain a visa for the United States and Canada, and visas are normally provided for a period of 10 years to St Kitts and Nevis nationals. We do not have any difficulty because of the quality of our passport in obtaining visas for the United States and Canada. Anything further on that, Dr. B?
No, I totally agree with you. It's very easy to get those types of visa. Actually, the Canadian visa can be obtained through the mail system. I have done it. It's a very simple process. US visa also is a very simple process. We've done it many times. I've studied in the US. It's very easy to get student visas to the United States, provided you have the requisite particulars. I see here, do you have student accommodation or we need to find private residency? I'm thinking that we have a number of chartered medical schools in St. Kitts. And we do have education tourism here. We have between St. Kitts and Nevis, there are about 5 American chartered medical school and 1 veterinary medical school. Extremely high standard at these. And we have a number of students who go to these schools from the United States, from Asia, from Europe, from all over the world. If you are a citizen of St. Kitts and you have a property here, your kid can come to any one of the universities and live in that property. If you are a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis and you don't have a property here, then you can come. There's ample accommodation here for students, high quality accommodations. Some of them have been approved through the Citizenship by Investment program, and they are of extremely high quality. So there is no problem there at all. for that.
Okay, there is a question. Can we expect further prices reduction on donation route? Okay, currently we are actually running a reduced amount in the donation. Previously, it was 150,000 for a single applicant and 195,000 for a family of up to 4 applicants. And currently it's $150,000 for a single applicant and the same 150,000 for a family of up to 4 applicants. That is running from July until the end of December 2020. In terms of further promotions or further reductions, we are not part of the government, but this is actually a great reduction that we are getting right now. And I'm sure Dr. B actually has a lot more to say about that.
Well, not a lot more really, except to say that St. Kitts is not in a race to the bottom as far as the citizenship program is concerned. We are not going to reduce our price because other people are reducing their price. I think the government takes seriously into consideration the factors that go into reducing their price. I think in each occasion when the price has been reduced, it's because there's been some crisis. As far as the real estate is concerned, I know the government had a concern at one time that we were overbuilding properties like condominiums. And since, as I stated in my thing, that a lot of people did not intend to live here, we have had occasion where some of the properties went into dereliction because those people who bought them were not paying the maintenance fees and things like that. And so the property went down. So to avoid that, they have switched and they have made other types of property investment. So
okay, we're gonna take one additional question. I think that question would have been, what security documents are required when making an application for citizenship by investment? There are a number of documents that are required. Some of the documents required are, well, there's Form C1, the background check, which has to be completed by the applicant. Well, on Form C1, the applicant will state all of their personal information. And we have Form C2 as well as Form C3, the medical form and the form of identity where an attorney or a notary public or someone from a banking institution will actually verify that this is the applicant who is actually applying for citizenship that is named on Form C1. Then we have the bank statements, 1-year bank statements up to the date that the applicant is applying for citizenship. There is the police record certificate, which has to be obtained from your country of residence or any country that you have lived in for the past 10 years. So if, for example, if you were born in Hong Kong and you're applying for citizenship, then we will require the certificate of no criminal record from Hong Kong because that is where you were born. And we'll also require the certificate of no citizenship from any country you have lived in for the past 10 years for a period of over 1 year. If you've just lived there for 5 months, 6 months, then we won't require the criminal record certificate. We require bank reference letters, professional reference letters, proof of address for the past 6 months before the date of application. And also we require, I think I mentioned, yes, I mentioned utility bills. We also need your passport documents, your bio page of your current passport. We need, if you're married, your marriage certificate, also your birth certificate, and any other required documents. We have a complete list, which we'll be happy to send you. so you can know all the requirements for applying for citizenship. Dr. B, you have anything further to add?
No, I think it's probably getting close to wrap-up time now.
Yes, yes.
And I just say that if there are any further questions, I think they would be able to contact us.
Yes.
At our various contact addresses. Mine is drken@pinnacleintinc.com. And so you can.
Your telephone number as well?
My telephone number is 1-869-667-9016.
Okay, I know, well, there were some questions answered, and we will be happy to answer those questions via email or telephone. Thank you so very much for attending our webinar. It was indeed a pleasure to have you, and we look forward to serving you when you make your application for St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship. My name is Robin Herbert, and I'm the principal of Law Office of Herbert Thompson. And of course, you have also spoken to our esteemed Dr. Ballantyne, who was the head of the Citizenship Investment Unit in St. Kitts and Nevis. And actually, he's the one who put St. Kitts and Nevis on the map, and we are thankful for that. My telephone contact, rcht@htlawskn.com. And my telephone number is 869-662-2363, 869-662-3010, 869-466-1186. We also would be asking you to take a poll for you to give your feedback on how you felt about the webinar today. Thank you.